What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Essence of Lex. Thank you for joining me again on my Bloom journey. And if you clicked on this video, then you're interested in my review and my recap of Zatima Season 2, Episode 5, called Not What You Think. Whew, let's get into it, y'all. So picking up where we left off on last episode, where Zach dropped Deja on the ground after finding out that the woman that pulled up was Fatima mom. So he's in shock. So now he's helping Deja up off the ground, and in helping Deja up off the ground, I guess he was trying to make sure the dirt, the leaves, or whatever was off her. So he is swiping her behind, touching her behind, and doing all of this in front of Fatima's mom. Not only that, after he helped her up, he proceeds to walk her to the door, walk Deja inside her house, closed the door, and left Fatima mama standing outside. Zach just found himself in the darnest situations. And as innocent as it may come off sometimes, well, actually lately, it's not coming off innocent at all. It really is not coming off innocent at all. I understand him helping her off the ground. He could have kept, trying to wipe her off. She could have figured that out for herself. But he definitely should have let her walk in that door by herself. There was no need for him to go actually inside the house with her. And I'm just baffled at this point when it comes to Zach and his interaction with Deja. But we're going to get into more of his interactions as I go on through the episode. Zach just have to think when it comes to a situation like this. I would think that, his initial reaction would be to invite Fatima mom in and let Deja figure out whatever else she got going on. Because for one, we already know Deja is not hurt. She's trying to get out of paying rent. We know that. So his initial reaction was to walk over to Fatima mom, introduce himself, invite her into the house, call Fatima, see where she at, all of that. Why he went inside Deja's house and all of that, like I said, is baffling to me. And I just think that Zach has to think more when it comes to situations like this. You left your fiance mom standing outside. The very first interaction that you have with your fiance mom, you left standing outside so you can go into the house of some other random woman. And he stayed in there too long. He stayed in there too long because Fatima done pulled up and her mom had a little conversation for a quick little second. So he stayed in there too long. I don't know what the conversation was going on the inside, but baby, listen. He stayed in there a little bit too long for me. Zach finally comes out of Deja's spot, and to his surprise, Fatima is home. Look like he's seen the ghost. So they finally invite Mona in. They invite Mona into the house or whatever. And it's care package. Mona brought Fatima a care package. And it's a care package for a single woman. We'll get into that next episode. But keep in mind that Mona gave Fatima a care package that was meant for a single woman. Mona tells Zach about dinner with her and the stepdad and Fatima and all that, which Zach didn't know nothing about. But I don't think Fatima really had the chance to tell Zach about it either at this point, because her mama told her earlier that day or something like that. Whatever the case may be, I don't think Fatima had gotten around to telling him about the dinner. So it was like Mona dropped the ball, to Zach, because he was unaware of that. Mentioning dinner, she said something about, because back in her day, they met the parents before they moved in and got engaged and got married and all that type of stuff. Traditional old school mindset. And when she said that, I was like, well, Mona, this is not back in the day. These are the modern times, and things are switching up. Things are definitely switching up. And I understand back then that's how the times were and that's how y'all did things, but times and the circumstances have changed tremendously. I don't want to wait until after I say I do before moving in with a person. What happens if we get married and it just become impossible for us to live together? I might have pet peeves that they can't deal with, and they might, and vice versa. I will actually prefer to move in with somebody before I say, I do, and declare that I want to spend the rest of my life with them. We need to, I think that marriage in itself is already hard enough, and I think simple things like moving in together and learning how to, coexist with someone else in the same space It's definitely something that, you know, I don't want to say that you should, because I don't want to speak on no one else. And I know that everyone is different and everyone have, you know, a different perspective. But as for me, I want to be able to coexist with you before we get married, you know, because like I said, marriage is hard enough as is. And we're going to have to, you know, deal with other things as they come along. And I want to reduce as much of that stress as we can, you know. I feel like coexisting in the same space before we say I do will allow us to compromise early, will allow us to learn each other in a different way. You know, like I said, marriage is going to be hard enough as is. So let's work out what we can before we say I do. That's my take on that. How do you guys feel? Let me know down below in the comments. How do you feel? Do you prefer to, you know, wait until you're married before you move in with someone, or are you okay with moving in before you say I do? You know, but I'm interested to hear other people's takes on that. You know, let me know down below in the comments. I'm also very aware that what works for me won't work for you or won't work for everybody else. So let me know your thoughts down below. All right, let's dive into Fatima and her upbringing for a moment. So there's a lot to unpack with Fatima, her mom, her stepdad, her biological dad, and her grandma. There's definitely a lot to unpack there. And I'm a little confused about her upbringing, you know, just a tad bit, you know, because for a while, Fatima, you know, said that she was raised by her grandmother. Now Mona is saying that, you know, her and the stepfather raised her. And I believe it takes a village. It do take a village, you know, with raising a child. And so it's clear that they all were involved with raising her, you know, but I think I need a little more details, and hopefully they go into a little more of her upbringing as the season go on. So I don't want to make, you know, judgment and opinions based on small information. Just scratching the surface here, and basically from what they have revealed to us, I think it makes a lot of sense why Fatima was drawn to Zach from the beginning. My perspective can change as the season go on and if they reveal more information. But right now, I think that it makes hella sense as to why she was initially drawn to Zach. Let's talk about Mona. You know, I seen some comments between Twitter and Instagram or wherever social media site that I was on. I was seeing some comments that, you know, people were coming for Mona and saying that they didn't like Mona. We'll see how the dinner go. But as of right now, you know, I have no beef with Mona. Let's talk about it. Mona mentioned the tension in the house between Zach and Fatima. And there is definitely tension there, if only she knew. Then I was like, well, Mona, that's why you don't show up unannounced. I get it, you was coming to check up on your daughter and all that. Please don't show up unannounced again. They wasn't expecting you and they were already dealing with some stuff on their own. Just don't show up unannounced again. Then she told Fatima something about thank God that her stepdad came along, because if he didn't, Fatima would have been right there in the gutter with her dad. And I was just like, whew, that has to be stinging to Fatima. And I'm sure that's not Mona's first time saying that to Fatima. It's very much giving off the energy that, you know, Mona says stuff like that all her life, you know. So I can only imagine how Fatima felt then and there, hearing that all her life, you know. So it makes sense why Fatima was drawn to chain breakers. It makes sense why Fatima was drawn to Zach. Like, all of that makes sense. But as I said, I'm definitely interested to see more of Fatima layers continue to peel back, you know. I think at this point we know a little more about Zach than we do Fatima, you know, because Fatima is guarded, and I'm sure that, you know, Fatima being guarded and all of that, part of it do have to do with, you know, her relationship with Ian, and all that, but part of it too, I'm definitely going to say, is going to be linked to her childhood. Really, as you pull back the layers on every characters, you know, whether it's on Zatima, Sisters, or any show, movie, or whatever, as you pull back the layers more on each character, it makes you understand characters more. It makes you see them in a different light. So, I'm definitely interested in that. Mona says she's going to try to give Zach the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to give Mona the benefit of the doubt. I'll hold my opinion on her for now. She's not wrong for her initial interaction with Zach. She damn sure is not wrong for showing concern for her daughter. If we being purposely honest, I think she acted like any mom would, or any parent would. Sometimes dad are a little more laid back, but, you know, sometimes when it comes to, you know, a dad and their daughter, they can sometimes go harder than the mom could. So instead of saying mom, I'm going to say I think that she acted like any parent would. Y'all know I love Zach, but Zach made a horrible first impression. He did. And not only that, Mona had already felt something was going on with Fatima from the conversation she had with Fatima early in the day when they was on the phone. You could feel that something was off with her. So those are the facts. So duh, she gonna come in full mom mode. She's going to be aggressive. She's going to overstep, That's just the way that it is, So like I said, I'm not faulting her for that. I honestly was waiting on her to see Fatima ring. If she had noticed Fatima ring like I thought she was going to notice, she probably would have went harder, So, but I don't think she did. Or she did notice, but because she felt the tension there, she didn't bring it up. But, even when she went outside, she didn't mention to Fatima about the ring. So I'm going to go with, I don't think that she saw it as of yet, Yeah, she mentioned, meeting the parents before marriage and moving in and that line there. But I overall want to say I don't think that she knew about the engagement. I don't think she saw the ring, And it's crazy because Andy was able to see the tan line. Mona didn't notice the ring. At least from, right now, it doesn't look like she noticed the ring. And Fatima ain't got no small ring. Fatima's finger is blinging, baby. It's iced out. So I think she should have saw it, but we'll see. Speaking of that, let's go into Fatima not telling her mom that they are engaged and that they live there. Let's talk about that for a second. I know some people think that, Fatima should have told her mom. And I get it. I get that perspective. I really do. But I'm also am a person where I believe, some stuff, well, it's not even, basically, there's a time and a place for everything. In that moment and in the way that, Zach was introduced to Mona and all that, I don't think that that was the right place or the right time for her to say, hey, we are engaged and we've moved in together. I actually do live here. Because if you think about it, before she found out that Zach was in Deja's house, she did say, yes, I stay here. Like I said, I just don't think that was the right moment for that. With Zach coming out of Deja's house and they already got tension and Mona already has sensed something was off with Fatima, it just was not the right moment for that at all. From that alone, Mona was already in full mom mode. So if it was me, I wouldn't have told her all the details neither. I don't care how old you get or how grown, you think you are. Sometimes, most times, you are still always going to be that little girl or that little boy. You're always going to be just the child or their child in your parents' eyes. Nope, I wouldn't have told her all the details right there either. And it's not even told because Mona is not stupid. She's not stupid. She didn't see the ring. At the very least, she knows Fatima stays there. So it would be more of Fatima admitting and confirming to her mom where her mom already know. At the very least, she knows Fatima stays there. That's not rocket science. All in all, she was just trying to avoid any conversation with her mom in this moment. A conversation surrounding Zach and her. She was just trying to avoid it all. I think that she couldn't even pop off like she wanted to at Zach because her mom was there. If Fatima pulled up, well, that defeats it. That disputes what I was about to say. But I'm going to say it anyway. Because what happened in the next episode is going to dispute what I'm about to say now. But I'm going to say it anyway. Because if Fatima would have pulled up normally just by herself and she would have saw Zach come out Zach come out her place, Fatima would have popped off. I definitely think she would have popped off. But because her mom was there and she know that, her mom would probably frown upon Fatima's actions, she didn't. You see? So all Fatima was doing was trying to save face. That's really all she was trying to do. It is a conversation that Fatima is going to have with her mom and her stepdad. If she makes the decision to continue to want to be with Zach and wants to spend the rest of her life with it, yes, she's definitely going to have to, talk to her parents about it. She's going to have to do it sooner than later too. Probably at this dinner, but we'll see. Nobody wants to feel like you hiding them from your family, especially your parents. For whatever reason, no one wants to feel like that. And I know Zach doesn't want to feel like he's been hidden because Fatima doesn't want to feel like she's been hidden. So she's just going to have to let them know that this is my decision regardless of what y'all think. Cue in Beyonce's Freakum dress song. When I saw the trailer of Zatima and I saw Fatima in that black dress, black skirt or whatever it wanted to be, baby, listen. I didn't think we was going to get her in that dress as quickly as we did. But I'm not mad at it. Fatima looked amazing. Fatima looked amazing. In her Freakum dress, she looks amazing. She looks so good. I don't care how mad I would have been. I would have got over it. I definitely would have got over and told her she wasn't going nowhere. Trust and believe she looked so good. Whatever I was mad about in that moment, I'll be mad about it tomorrow. But you're not going nowhere looking that damn good. I'm sorry. If I was Zach, I would have stopped her. Let's get into it. So Fatima go upstairs. Zach is in the shower. Fatima starts running her some bath water. Zach get out the shower and walked past her, looked at her with the mean mug, basically giving her solid treatment, and walked out the bathroom. She went to put her Freakum dress on and walked past him as she was walking out the closet. The same thing he did to her, she did to him back. Petty? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's petty. Wrong? Hell no. You know, how is this any different from when season 1, when Zach went out to a party, gave Deja the keys, then got a lap dance from Deja, had Deja sitting in his lap, was looking at her like he wanted her, he was lusting after her. People was coming for Fatima, but how is this any different? It's crazy the things that you see when you're just listening and reading comments of different people perspectives and what they think about how this went or how that went. It's crazy because the same people that, you know, was not mad at Zach for when he did it in season 1 when he went out or whatever is mad at Fatima because she went out. I even saw something where like they said Fatima went out to, what was it? Fatima went out to weigh her options, or she was looking for other options, and I'm just like, are we watching the same thing? What about her putting on this Freakum dress made you think that she was going out to weigh other options? She's allowed to go out with her girls, just like Zach went out with his boys, but the outcome is different. The outcome is different. Watch this. So Angela convinces Fatima to go to Club Eden. Zach called Tony wanting to go out and hang out or whatever, and Tony ended up changing his plan so that he could hang out with Zach, but Zach never made it to hang out with Tony. Let's get into both of these situations, and let's start with Angela and Fatima at Club Eden. Fatima is surrounded by naked men on stage, probably wandering around in Club Eden. If you watch all the Queens men, you know how they get down at Club Eden. She just got naked men everywhere, and she is not impressed at all. She's barely even looking for real. Her mind is really on Zach. And even though, you know, she might be mad at Zach, and even though they might have some tension and they might not be on the best terms, she is still respecting him in every way possible. I just don't know how some people are not seeing that. She respected him in every way possible. She still respected him and their relationship. So she started venting to Angela about Zach, you know. Angela asked her, was she happy? And Fatima said that, you know, she was happy. She don't like the not talking and going cold thing that they're doing now, which, you know, that's understandable. I get that. Kind of started with Zach seeing his mom, you know. Zach is the one that is usually the one that is more open to the conversation. But since seeing his mom, you know, he kind of have grown cold, you know, and not talking to her. And Angela said something about, well, Zach did see you in the elevator with Paul. I'm sorry, I just think that is BS. Him seeing Fatima in the elevator doing absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. To me, that is a BS excuse. And if he is using that excuse to act the way that he's acting in this episode and the next episode, I'm sorry. That's BS to me. He overreacted, not one time, but twice with that whole Paul situation. So I'm sorry, that is BS to me. So they finished up their conversation or whatever, and Fatima said she really just wanted to think. Then she changed her mind and said no, she don't want to think. She want to forget about the whole thing, and she basically just want to drink. They stopped the guy named Sean that they thought was the waiter, but he wasn't the waiter. But Angela thirsty self was interested in Sean. So she go with Sean to the bar to get drinks. Then come towards the end of the night, it's time for them to leave. Angela is stupid drunk. Stupid drunk. Fatima to me seems like she was, you know, a little tipsy, but she knew what she was doing. She was very much aware of everything that was going on. I don't think it was safe for her to drive from the way that they was telling it. Fatima ordered the Uber. Like, she had ordered the Uber or whatever. She said it was like 6 minutes away or something like that. Then this Sean come out. He's been drinking too, so he's drunk too. Or maybe he's not drunk. Maybe he's holding his liquor a little bit better than Angela, but very much aware that he has been drinking. Now they're debating whether or not they're going to get in a ride share or they're going to have Sean take them home. Fatima is very much saying, no, we're not riding with you. We're going to get in a ride share. We don't know you. You are a stranger, and you also been drinking yourself, so why would we get in a car with you? At this point, Angela wants to ride with Sean. She is not letting up on that. She wants to ride with Sean. So she walk over to the car with Sean, saying that, come on, girl, we can just ride with Sean. So Fatima decides to go with him. And I'll get more into that next episode. But, you know, if you don't understand that Fatima got in that car because of Angela, then I really don't know what else I can say for that to be your perspective. Fatima got in that car because Angela was getting in a car with a stranger who was drunk, who she didn't know, don't know nothing about him other than his name is Sean, really. If you don't understand that Fatima got in that car because of her friend Angela, I don't know what else to say. Moving on to Zach. We're going to end this review and recap off with Zach. So Zach saw Fatima go out the door in her Freakum dress. So he called Tony, you know, trying to see what he up to. You know, he want to go out. On the same regard, he also might want to just, you know, clear his mind, clear his head, whatever the case may be. Okay, cool. I think Tony asked him, you know, what's up, what's going on, what's wrong with you? And he was saying something like, I think he told him it's Fatima. So Tony said something about, you still with her? And I'm just like so confused into that. Tony said they just want to see Zach happy. And I'm just like, when have Zach told y'all that he wasn't happy? What about Zach gives y'all that he's not happy with Fatima? Yes, they are going through it right now, whatever the case may be, but I just don't get why they don't think he's happy. Why do they think he will propose to a woman he's not happy with? Like, come on. And I say that, but as I continue to go, Zach is disputing my thoughts on that. Tony asked Zach, you know, basically, do he want Deja? You know, that was Tony's question. And Zach's response was, hear me now. Well, y'all watch it. Y'all know what his response was. Zach's response was, basically, no, not after she's been with Nathan. And that, to me, was the most disappointing answer to that question that an engaged man can give. I'm sorry. That was very disappointing to me. It really was. Not the fact that you are engaged, not the fact that you are in love, but the reason you don't want Deja is because she don't been with Nathan. And I'm just like, wow. Disappointment didn't stop there. I'm continuing on with the disappointment. So he get off the phone with Tony or whatever. Deja started playing loud music yet again. Zach called her to tell her to turn it down. She told him she gonna need him to come over and turn it down for her because she can't reach it. I'm just like, Zach, think. How did she turn on the music? How did she turn on the music? Why did she even turn the music up that loud to where you can hear it? Well, I take that back. He did ask her, well, how did you turn it on? She said something about she used her crutches to turn it on and the crutches pushed the speaker back or some BS. All I was hearing was BS. Irrelevant details that should not involve Zach at all. Irrelevant details that Zach should not be concerned about at all. Zach shouldn't have took his ass over there. But he did. That music would have just been playing loud. I would have put me in some headphones to ignore her, or I would have waited till another neighbor called the police for disturbing the peace, or maybe I would have called the police myself. But me going over there to turn the speaker down definitely would not have been something I decided to do. No. Now, this is the first time he went over there, and he definitely shouldn't have. Well, technically, this is the second time because Deja could have got out that car and walked herself into the house herself. Because how did she walk out the house and get in the car? Yeah. So we're going to say this was his first time over there, but definitely it's the second. Zach, you know, turn the speaker off or whatever. He's sitting there going back and forth with her with the heat and how much is hot in here. Again, things that should not concern Zach, but he is making it his problem. If she want to turn the heat on and burn up herself, That's her prerogative. Things that should not concern Zach at all. So he leave and he go back home. He's back home and now he's debating whether he's going to use this side chick toy or not. And while he was debating, he said something about, so I'm supposed to use this, but basically I got Deja over there that just really pretty much is just throwing it at me. And I'm just like, Zach got the reeling in. He's going to put himself in a situation that is going to lose a great woman. Simple as that. She's not perfect. She got her issues she's got to work on. She got things that she needs to do and be better at and all of that. And she herself also need therapy. Please don't get me wrong on that. She herself also need therapy. I'm not denying that. But overall, Fatima is a great woman. And if Zach don't start thinking about decisions that he makes, especially when it comes to these women, especially when it comes to Deja, he's going to find himself in a situation that is going to make him lose a great woman. So he's debating or whatever. And here go Deja again. Deja called Zach. Now she need the water turned off. And I'm just like, she got in the tub, was able to turn the water on herself, but now she can't turn the water off. She calls Zach and tell him that she need him to turn the bathtub off. If not, it's going to overflow. It just would overflow. I'm sorry. I'm the landlord, and I'm okay with the overflowing and let me figuring out the damages, because the damages is going to be your fault. So again, Zach has went over to Deja's house when he shouldn't. This is his third time, second/third time going over there all within the same night when he shouldn't have. He turns the water off. And Deja tell him to check his phone. So he check his phone and there's some type of picture of Fatima with the guy or whatever the case may be. We saw how Fatima was dodging the guys. She did not want to be bothered with guys. She was not interested in guys. So I really don't know what this picture is that they just showed. But nonetheless, she done sent Zach a picture. Not only has she sent Zach this picture or whatever the case may be, now she's trying to get in Zach's head. Now she's telling Zach about how she's using him and how she don't care about him and she's doing him, so he basically should just do her. And I'm just like, wow. And the episode ended with Zach, I guess, weighing his options. To me, it looked like he was thinking about it. That's how the episode ended. That's how episode 5 ended. It's not what you think. Right now it's not looking too good for Zach. Y'all stay tuned for my episode 6 review and recap. It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna dissect episode 6 a little bit deeper. We're gonna go into Zach a little bit. I got some things to say about episode 6, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a video, make sure you hit that little bell. And make sure y'all come back and join me for episode 6 review and recap.